my kids are not saved because I homeschooled them.
Right.
However, it is what, as I dig out of the scriptures and I come to understand what God wants me to do with my children, I see that as the best course of action to achieve that end.
This is fun, Meeke. You've got me fired up, girl.
I love it.
I see a question here from Samantha. If you guys have more questions, we have just a few minutes left. And so go ahead and pop those in there if you do. Samantha asked this: what approach do you suggest for conversations with fellow Christians that have kids in public school about homeschooling? It feels like crossing a line, though it feels wrong not to bring it up. Oh, that's such a great question, Samantha. Meeke, do you want to jump on that one?
Sure. I would just say this. I would say love and humility goes a long way in this conversation. So often what I think in the homeschooling community, we take for granted that those who are not educating their kids or discipling their kids at home, we take for granted that they know we're not accusing them of not loving their kids. So when we're talking to someone who's not educating their kid at home, what they hear us saying is, we're better. Mm-hmm. You don't love your kid. So as much as we wish that we could just have that established as a baseline, I love you. I know you love your kid. I'm not trying to exalt myself. I'm not trying to press you down. If we can't assume that. So we've got to begin from the place of maybe even an exaggerated humility and just asking questions. How are you doing?
Yeah.
How are your children doing? And be honest, where we share the pitfalls of home education. Listen, I was in a small town just this past weekend. And in this small town, they suffered a tragic loss. It was a 14-year-old kid who was homeschooled and he committed suicide. Oh. So what we've got to recognize is that my kids are not saved because I homeschooled them.
Right.
Do you understand? Like homeschooling is not salvific. However, it is what, as I dig out of the scriptures and I come to understand what God wants me to do with my children, I see that as the best course of action to achieve that end. Now, I'm not combating other kids' personalities as I'm working with them because they're here. So something that aggravates me, I got to take responsibility for that because they're around me all day long, right? So I think if we can approach the question or the conversations with humility and compassion, if we ask questions, right? Hey, did you read this article? Hey, did you know that this was happening in schools all across the country? Did you know that this was, if we bring that question from a place of really, if it's a sale at a store, you would tell a parent, then you tell the parent that. And so I would say, I guess that's how I would respond.
Yeah. That's awesome. I mean, truly, it's years ago when we started homeschooling, we were early in our homeschool journey. I became kind of a homeschool evangelist because I said I'd never homeschool, never. I mean, I was like, never, ever will I do that to myself, to my kids. I hated school the first time. Well, why would I want to do it again? And I had convinced myself that it was not for our family. And then the Lord changed our hearts. But I would talk to people and just naturally it would flow out of me because I didn't know what else to say. I mean, it just was part of our family. It was part of who we were. And for that reason, that is one of the reasons that we created the documentary Schoolhouse Rocked. And so you've probably seen the trailers for it throughout this week. The whole documentary will answer your questions and everyone else's questions about homeschooling. And it debunks all of the misconceptions. It debunks all the negative stereotypes and it brings encouragement to the homeschool parent. And we made that because we saw that there were so many people who needed answers, but they didn't, either the people talking to them didn't know what to say or how to say it, or there was just not a tool that was available for being able to give to people to say, here's a way to answer your questions about homeschooling, or here's why we do what we do. And so you can stream it for free. SchoolhouseRockedMovie.com. Stream the movie for free. Show it to your friends. Offer it to them. We have DVDs too. If you want to purchase a DVD, you can do that and give it to them and say, I want you to understand why I have chosen to homeschool my kids. Mm-hmm. Maybe this movie will help you to understand it. That movie is a tool for you. So hopefully that will be helpful to you. Homeschool Insights is sponsored by CTC Math. If you're looking for a great online math program, visit ctcmath.com and try it for free. For more great homeschool inspiration and resources, listen to the Schoolhouse Rocked podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday.